The Assad regime has finally collapsed. This is an amazing news. This is one of the most biggest developments in the history of the Muslim world, at least over the last 200 years. And after over a decade of war and over 600,000 murders, Assad is finally gone. Now you have Syrians who are fleeing all over the world, who fled to Europe, who fled to North America, who are refugees because of this man and his tyrannical rule. He bombed the country into rebel. This is, I don't even know what to say. This is one of those days where like you're just absolutely in disbelief. Alhamdulillah, Allah has given victory to the Muslimin. Allah has rewarded the patience of the Muslims, and they've given them a victory that we will not forget. Now, it's interesting. Look at this ayah from the Quran for Surah Al-Balad. أَيَحْسَبُ أَنْ لَنْ يَقْدِرَ عَلَيْهِ أَحَدٌ. Do they not think that no one has power over them? This is very true. Assad thought he would be in power forever. He thought that he could rape Muslim women in front of their husbands. He thought that he could drop barrel bombs on civilians. Look at what their soldiers are doing to a Syrian child. They're forcing them to say, there is no God but Bashar Assad. And now these dogs have been humiliated and they've been forced to flee. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Omar Suleiman wrote, Assad has fled, a humiliated tyrant who had made the honored Syrian people into a global refugee story while murdering hundreds of thousands at home. Yes, may every Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. May Allah give you just rule and prosperity in the days ahead. May every tyrant fall. Ameen. So, what's interesting is seeing a lot of these Christians react to this. They're very upset. They think that there's going to be a genocide of Christians, as if Christians haven't been living under Muslim rule for centuries. This is absolutely absurd. The Assad regime, the Baathists, they've only been in charge since the 1960s. Okay? The Baathists took over, I believe it was 1964, 65 is when they took over, the Baath regime. So there were Syrians before then who were Christian, and there were also Christians in Syria after that. So you got nothing to worry about. Islam does not mandate that we just wipe out Christians. That's false. We have something called the jizya tax for a reason. So you should know better, Ian. And Myron, the kafir, the murtad, is basically claiming that the Syrian rebels, the ones who liberated their country, are a bunch of terrorists. You see Keith Wood saying the same thing. You see Kangman Lee saying the same thing. They're saying that Christians are in grave danger. It's not true. And it's interesting. Look, what Nick Fuentes is claiming, the leader of the radical Muslim terrorist group, was a former Al-Qaeda and ally of ISIS. I thought this guy said that Al-Qaeda was part of the United States. These stupid conspiracy theories can't even keep their story straight. Right? This is just not true. They want to defame them. And never forget that the Zionists who defamed Muslims who were fighting against the Israelis, the axis of resistance, the Assadists, are no different than the Zionists. They will call you terrorist, they will call you a head chopper, they will call you medieval, but they will use the same hateful tropes against Muslims that the Jews, that the Israelis have used against us over the past however many decades. So, this is something that is obviously it's still in development. Vladimir Putin said that Assad has fled the country. He may be in Russia, or he might have fled to the UAE. We don't actually know yet, so we'll still see. Assad was one of the worst men in the history of the Muslim world. The proud Muslim nation was completely destroyed by the pharaoh of our time. Now he's fleeing like a rat. It's true, very true. Syria is free. I agree, Muhammad Hijab, brother, I agree. Alhamdulillah. The Syrian war really exposed. It really exposed who's real and who's fake. It's really the litmus test. I would say the Syria, as well as what's happening in China to the Muslims over there. It's the same thing as well. Right? You see Ismail to Jannah, he's celebrating it, but hey, I remember recently this guy was actually on the other side of that issue. He was criticizing the rebels. And now he's siding with them. This is unbelievable. What an evil person. Smile to Jannah. May Allah hold you to account for what you said against the Syrian rebels, brother. I don't know, I'm not even sure if I can call you that, brother. I can't. Because of what you said. You have to take this stuff back. You didn't know what you were talking about. You have no knowledge. And you need to take this back. You can't just jump on the bandwagon after the Mujahideen succeed. It doesn't work that way. So that's all I have to say about the topic. I mean, there's so many videos of people being released from jail, people who were in jail for decades and now they're being released, people who are being reunited with their families. This is just one of those days where you just have to sit down and just kind of bask in the glory. But that's all I have to say on the topic about this issue. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.